They know that they are providing material support to terrorism. Now, this government forfeiture today of property allows us to seize all of the property, whether it is on domestic or foreign territory, even seizing property outside of the United States. And that is the significance of the FTO. Now, when you have a chance, I want you to take a look at the barrels behind me. There are 1,300 barrels filled with precursors to methamphetamine. It will take 24 18-wheelers to take these precursors to a storage facility in a safe location. I'm going to say that again. It will take 24 18-wheelers to take these barrels to a storage facility in a secure location. So today's interdiction highlights an incredible work that has been done by the Homeland Security investigation, as well as Customs and Border Patrol, and my office in Washington, D.C., that was on this case, because this is what we do wherever it occurs. And we will continue to stay on top of these organizations and on top of the movement of these precursors throughout the high seas to prevent them from making it to the United States. And let me say that this interdiction has stopped the drug labs that were planned on producing meth from operating. Now, how do we get to this point? We do it because we've got smart people behind me. We got people who understand drug trafficking, they understand money laundering techniques, and they understand transportation distribution, and they analyze, and they are just smart as hell. And thank God for every one of them. And I want to thank them for being here today and for the work that they do. And before you leave, I want to make sure that you look at those 1,300 barrels. And I want you to have a visual of dead Americans instead of where those barrels are, because that's what would have happened. Now I'm going to call upon Homeland Security investigation, the Agent Director Todd Lyons, and after that, the Custom and Border Patrol Director of Field Operations, Judd Murdoch. Todd?
Thank you, ma'am.
You don't have to step on me.
No, just let it go.
Yeah, quietly.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Todd Lyons. I'm the Acting Director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement. First off, I want to begin by thanking the U.S. Attorney. She's been an amazing partner. She's been side by side with us all the way with Homeland Security investigations and ICE. And it's because of her and her office we could have successes like we had here today. I also want to thank Customs and Border Protection for hosting us today, as well as all the other law enforcement partner agencies that were involved in this seizure. The FBI, the DEA, the Department of Defense Joint Interagency Task Force, U.S. Northcom, as well as the Texas National Guard. In recent years, the number of drug-related deaths in America have grown to more than 100,000 casualties, and that's just way too much. This tragic and senseless loss each year has been sure that since President Trump took office, that's his #1 priority, is taking these weapons of mass destruction off the street. HSI's Operation Hydra is unique from our other approaches to combating drug trafficking because it targets the supply line chemical precursors that manufacture illicit narcotics rather than the finished products. As a result, it's possible for HSI to prevent much larger volume of narcotics entering the international and the domestic drug supply lines. These two shipments originated from the same vendor in China. They were destined to go in the hands of the Sinaloa cartel. Had these precursors made it to their destination, they would have made hundreds of thousands of pounds of methamphetamine with profits of over $500 million, which would lead to more American deaths here, not only in Houston, but all across the country. Under this operation, HSI used sophisticated analytical tools and techniques, as well as our extensive investigative tools and our deep knowledge about cross-border trade to ensure that we identified these shipments before they got into any illicit hands. This marks the first time a seizure warrant was issued for the material support of terrorism. So let me just say that again. Under 18 USC, United States Code 2339B, we were able to charge someone with material support of terrorism, and that's the Sinaloa cartel. The ability to obtain a warrant for this was only possible because President Trump's executive order designating the Department of State to designate major drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. After seizing these two shipments, HSI International worked closely with our foreign law enforcement partners to consolidate shipments in Panama and divert here to the port of Houston. Our agents in Guatemala, Panama, and Mexico provided significant support to our Homeland Security investigation team here in Houston throughout this whole investigation. Operation Hydra continues to be a tremendous success to bolster our efforts to combat drug trafficking. Operations like this is key to our Homeland Security Task Force. The amount of partners that work together to take these illicit drugs off our street is key to making America safe again. I can't thank all of our partners enough, and I can't thank you, Mr. Chairman, for everything you've done for us to take these deadly substances off our street.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Again, good morning. My name is Judd Murdoch. I'm the Director of Field Operations for the Houston Field Office for U.S. Customs and Border Protection. I truly appreciate the work of U.S. Attorney Pirro and her team to my left, as well as our other federal partners that are here with me today. I'm honored to speak briefly on behalf of the men and women of U.S. Customs and Border Protection who are committed to protecting the American people and our nation's borders. The seaport environment here in the Houston-Galveston area presents unique challenges to the national security and border mission that we carry out every single day. Global criminal networks and designated terrorist organizations work to exploit our borders in many creative ways to move dangerous people and dangerous things here to the United States. The many barrels of precursor chemicals that are behind me are directly linked to one of the most dangerous and deadliest terrorist networks, the Sinaloa cartel. If you're unfamiliar, the Sinaloa cartel is one of the most violent and brutal terrorist organizations in the world. They have produced and distributed record amounts of drugs worldwide and are responsible for countless deaths, devastation, destruction of communities in the United States and abroad. This seizure represents one of the largest interdictions of its kind in history and highlights the critical role of interagency collaboration and intelligence sharing in combating threats posed by drug trafficking organizations and terrorist groups. It's precisely why we bring our many unique areas of expertise together to form these law enforcement partnerships to combat the enemy. The Sinaloa cartel activities are not merely criminal, they are acts of terror that threaten the safety and security of our nation. By targeting their supply chains and disrupting their operations, we are sending a clear message. DHS will not tolerate anyone or anything that wants to harm our community. Let me be clear, this seizure is not just a victory for law enforcement, it's a victory for every family and every individual who's been impacted by the devastation of drug addiction and cartel violence. We will continue to stand vigilant, using every resource that we can throw at this problem set to protect our borders and dismantle criminal organizations and terrorist organizations. Again, thank you very much for being here today, and a special thanks again to the U.S. Attorney for being here with us as well.
Hi. Do you have any questions? When was it intercepted? Like a week ago? When did we intercept it? Yeah, within the last week. Within the last week, we had to unload it. It was in the big cartons. What do you call those cartons?
Shipping containers.
Yeah, you know those shipping containers that you see? That we had a lot of those containers, and the barrels are then in the containers. Don't look so worried. Right now, this is a seizure of the goods of a foreign terrorist organization. We are working on that part of it as we speak. We'll let you know on that. But I think the most important part of this, as you heard from both Judd as well as Todd, is this is a first in many ways. And not just in terms of the use of the statute, but in terms of the size of the seizure. And again, I have to tip my hat to those individuals involved in this investigation. This is serious business, folks. This isn't about people just sitting at a desk writing a warrant. This is serious, dangerous business. And that's why I thought it was important to come down here and let you know the kind of work that's being done by people in the government that some people just take for granted. You can't. These people are heroes behind me and all around here. We're all heroes here. So God bless them. Well, whether or not we're in a position to make arrests in Mexico, which is what you're asking, is not something that I'm at liberty to speak about right now. But thank you for the question. You keep going. Yes. No. This seizure is not planned in terms of anyone's schedule other than the schedule of getting it off the high seas, getting it here into Houston, getting it off the ships, and, you know, locking it down so that we prevent it from going to the cartel. It's got nothing to do with politics, nothing. Other than the fact that this is the first president who decided that the Sinaloa cartel is a foreign terrorist organization that gives us the ability to move quickly and gives us the ability to seize property anywhere in the world if it is connected to one of these organizations. Yeah. Oh yeah, let me be very clear. This is the hard part. Finding the Americans who are violating the law is the easy part. So don't think you're going to get away with it and make a quick few bucks and no one will know. We know. You'd be amazed at what we know. We may be following you now, waiting for you to go to the next guy. We may be watching you and not ready to take you down. So don't risk it, because you're going to jail. Yeah, go ahead, Todd.
This is the largest seizure of
Todd, over here.
Yeah, to answer your question, yes, this is the largest seizure of any precursor chemical ever in the history of the United States. So, to the U.S. Attorney's point, you know, President Trump has made sure that these criminal organizations that are now designated as foreign terrorist groups, they're giving us the ability to go ahead and track these precursors before they even get here. So I think the key to it is, not only is it the largest seizure in history of U.S. law enforcement, but this just shows that we were able to stop a threat before it actually came on to U.S. soil. And that's the key part of this, I think.
Yeah. To have the ability to stop it when previously we could not under other administrations. It's recognizing the danger to America. All right, everyone. Stick it to this. Stay with this.
Yeah, I'm going to stay with this. This is key because, to the U.S. Attorney's point, we need to be focused on what the men and women of law enforcement do. So the men and women of HSI are out here serving this criminal warrant, and we're going to do this nationwide, whether it be international trafficking, human trafficking, any type of criminal immigration, enforcement operations. ICE and HSI will be all over every major U.S. city, so you can count on that.
Exactly what I said they would ask. That is very good. There's not a lot I'm going to tell you about how we go about finding out about this. Does it put a dent in? Absolutely, it does. Are they a big organization? Absolutely. But the way I look at this is that every life saved, and again, imagine bodies where those barrels are, because that's not too much to imagine and visualize. So will they recoup? Maybe. It'll take them a while. And how we find out about this, if I told you, then they'd know, and that wouldn't be good. Thanks, everybody. I'm not telling you where they're intercepted. What do you want to say, Mike?
We just leave it at the high seas.
Yeah, we seized it on the high seas, and that's it. Thank you. Thank you for your questions. Thanks for being here. Really, we appreciate it. Take care.